Hi, I'm Scott Robertson, and this is my persuasive speech on organ donation. This is my audience.
Hi.
Roman.
Dylan.
Taylor.
Pitt. Haley. Morgan.
Mitch.
You find yourself in a hospital bed. Your liver has failed, and you only have hours before all is lost. A doctor comes rushing in, face bright with hope, and tells you that a liver has been found. A man had passed due to natural causes, and he is shown to be a compatible donor. Though his death was a tragedy, he posthumously allowed you to live. Because of his decision to become a donor, you are now carrying on your life in a way that would not be possible without his donation. My purpose tonight is to explain to you about why becoming an organ donor can help save the lives of people in need of miracles. A friend of mine who passed after being in a car accident my sophomore year of high school was an organ donor. Though it was little consolation, his family was able to take comfort in the fact that his tragic passing allowed others to have a second chance at life. Through this experience, I learned that organ donation can benefit in several ways to our lives without having to put forth any effort. I'd like to explain to you tonight what organ donation is, how it can give meaning to an untimely death, and I would also like to dispel a few myths about this medical process. To begin, donating organs is a way to extend the lives of people that otherwise would not be able to see another day. The process of organ donation can save as many as 8 lives through the surgical transplantation of organs from a donor to recipients. Most often, donors are deceased, but some organs can be donated by living donors as defined by the Organ Donation Association. Deceased donors can donate organs or tissues. Organs able to be donated are the pancreas, kidney, liver, heart, and intestines. With all of these organs, one donor can save up to 8 lives. Tissues such as heart valves, bones, skin, and veins can also help save people. Living donors can donate pieces of the kidney, liver, lungs, intestines, and in some cases, tissues and cornea. To enroll as a donor, all you have to do is notify the state's donor registry. This can be done at any time, but is most convenient when renewing ID, such as a driver's license. Donations normally occur after an incident that involves severe head trauma, and the medical staff has exhausted all other options, and a patient is being kept alive by machines when they begin testing for brain death. This is done by a neurosurgeon, and is usually done several times to confirm that brain death has occurred. When a patient is brain dead, they are not in a coma. There is no return from brain death. The only thing keeping a brain dead person alive is tubes and machines. After this has happened and consent has been verified, the patient's medical history is reviewed to ensure the organs are healthy, and then they are removed from the donor and transported to those in need. According to the Department of Health, people of every age give and receive organ donations. In 2012, 28,051 people received organ transplants. Here's the number of recipients by age group. 1-year-old, 252 deceased and 25 living donors. 1 to 5 years, 422 deceased, 98 living donors. 6 to 10 years, there were 280 donors, and the list goes on. Here are some organ donation centers that can be found around this area. There are 2 along the panhandle of Florida, and then 1 in southeastern Louisiana. Moving on, lives are changed every day by those who are brave enough to offer their bodies in order to help others when they find themselves beyond aid. According to the U.S. Department of Health, in 2012, over 28,000 people's lives were saved or drastically changed for the better solely because of organ donation. A death that cuts a promising life short doesn't have to be a total loss. For instance, Steve Jobs' life was extended 17 years after receiving a pancreas to eradicate the tumors in his body, as reported by Lauren Cox of ABC News. Without him, we would never have the Apple products which are so common among us today. But he is not the only person to have his life saved by a donor. Evel Knievel's death-defying feats on his trademark motorcycle inspired children everywhere to follow their dreams and dare to do the impossible. Mickey Mantle wowed crowds across the country on the baseball diamond after undergoing a liver transplant. Both of these men were mentioned in the medical news report. Without the selfless donation of organ donors, these people would never have been able to change the world into the one we live in today. Finally, I would like to dispel some myths that surround organ donation. According to UNOS, or the United Network for Organ Sharing, these are some of the top wrong impressions that are carried with the process of organ donation. If emergency room doctors know you're an organ donor, they won't work as hard to save you, which is false. You were treated just the same until brain death has occurred, and then the donation process begins. Having an organ donor noted on your driver's license or carrying a donor card is all you have to do to become a donor. In most states, hospitals can legally proceed with organ, eye, or tissue donation without consent of next of kin if you have a driver's license with an organ donor designation. However, it's important to talk to your family about the decision to donate life so they are aware of your wishes. The biggest one is that your religion prohibits organ donation. The fact is, according to UNOS, is that all major organized religions approve of organ and tissue donation and consider it an act of charity. In conclusion, it may seem frightening to give your body to charity, but everyone wants to help people, and this is perhaps the easiest way to do it. Death is a part of life, and no death should be in vain. With organ donation, one person can save several lives, and their death would let other people continue to live. I implore you to register as an organ donor, so lives can be saved.